The Three Lions are many bookmakers' favorites to triumph in Germany, but they have some serious flaws. Number 1. Lack of left backs. Luke Shaw hasn't played a single minute of competitive football since February 18th, and yet he's the only orthodox left back in England's squad, which is both a damning indictment of the options available to Southgate and a serious source of concern going into the Euros. Shaw is said to be progressing well in his recovery from his hamstring problem, but if he's not at 100% by the time the knockout stage rolls around, England will be seriously compromised at left back both from a defensive and offensive perspective. His fragile physical condition could prove the difference between success and failure at a wide-open tournament likely to be decided by fine margins. Number 2. Soft center. The unavailability of Harry Maguire through injury constitutes a hammer blow. Yes, the situation is that dire, with Maguire's participation having been in doubt from the moment his season was brought to a premature end by a calf problem. Southgate sought desperately to find alternatives. He called up pretty much every eligible centre-back in England for his preliminary squad. The hope remained that Maguire would recover in time to travel to Germany, but when it emerged that the 31-year-old had little hope of being fit to play any part in the group stage, Southgate was forced to cut one of his most reliable servants. Number 3. No cover for Kane. Southgate said before the friendly against Iceland that he was unlikely to start Ivan Toney up front as his priority was getting Harry Kane right for 2024 Euros, with the Bayern Munich star having missed the end of the season with a niggling back problem. Kane did come off the bench and score in the preceding game against Bosnia and Herzegovina, but it's clear that the former Tottenham striker is not exactly at 100% now. Southgate will, thus, be praying that Kane does not suffer a setback at any stage over the next month, as the 30-year-old is utterly irreplaceable. Ollie Watkins is a wonderful, all-around attacking talent coming off the back of a fine season at Aston Villa, but did not impress in the Bosnia game and doesn't yet boast anything like the same quality and experience as his captain. Toney, meanwhile, is one of the most overrated players in the Premier League and is absolutely blessed just to have made the squad, having missed the first half of the season through suspension and scored just 4 times in the second. England may have a plenty of options in attack, but any injury issue for Kane would be an absolute disaster. Number 4. How to fit Phil Foden and Jude Bellingham into the same lineup?
The problem is obvious. Both players excel in the same central position. Many supporters and pundits would like to see the pair deployed as twin no.10s in a 4-3-3 formation, with just Rice stationed in front of the back four. But as Southgate's earlier comments indicate, there's no chance of that happening. The England boss is going to persist with his double pivot, meaning only one of Foden and Bellingham will get to play in his preferred position behind Kane. The smart money is on Bellingham. After all, he's exploded at Real Madrid after being bestowed with the freedom to play further forward by Carlo Ancelotti. However, Foden was the best player in the Premier League this season precisely because he was deployed through the middle, and there's a real risk that his attacking threat will be curbed by being selected on the flank. One could obviously argue that it's one of those welcome selection headaches, having to choose between two top-class talents. However, Southgate needs to put an end to this potentially distracting debate by finding a way to get the best out of both Bellingham and Foden. Number 5. Conservative Southgate. Southgate remains an immensely popular figure within English football. He's the nice guy that united a nation, restoring pride in the Three Lions by fostering an endearing team spirit in an exciting set of predominantly young players. The results have been good, too. He has the second-best record of any English manager ever and has led the country to the last 4 of a World Cup 2018 and the final of a European Championship 2021. However, doubts have begun to creep in because of Southgate's conservatism. Even before England failed to beat a France team that were there for the taking in the quarterfinals of the 2022 World Cup, there were complaints that they were playing with the handbrake on. Consequently, there were mounting calls after Qatar for Southgate to let his players off the leash, to take more risks, to be bolder, both with his starting lineups and in-game changes. England, remember, inexplicably retreated after taking an early lead in the Euro 2020 final against Italy, and cowardice cost them the game. The widespread fear is that they will be once again punished for pragmatism in Germany. England undeniably have a glorious chance to win a first major trophy since 1966, but is Southgate really brave enough to take it? Because the time for excuses is over. Nothing less than victory will suffice for Southgate. Injuries and misfortune could all play a part, but if England don't win the Euros, the manager will be the main reason why.